I was going to wait a few days before doing another episode in this series, but I had something interesting happen to me yesterday, which I wanted to kind of touch on for anyone else who's kind of new to mining or just kind of the logistics of everything. But the system I was mining in, I had a Citadel, player Citadel, that I was compressing in. So I just happened to log in yesterday to do some mining, and I noticed that they were actually unanchoring this structure. They had already taken the core out, everything like that. And that's just something that I think that everybody should kind of watch out for. Another thing that I've kind of done too, and I've gotten the habit of doing this for the past year or so, is especially if in an adventure, if I'm in a system and I'm actively compressing, then when I log out for the day, I'll usually take all the compressed ore and put it in the venture. So in the case that like the structure gets unanchored or it gets destroyed, and when I log back in, I'm just kind of in space, all of my items are already with me and not in asset safety where I have to pay taxes to get them out. I managed to catch it early on yesterday, and I still had like 15 hours or so before it was going to be an issue. But that's just something to keep a watch out for. But this episode, considering that, and this episode, and also just what I've seen in the comments and stuff, we're going to talk about compression, why it's important. Now, I understand that like a lot of people who are going to be mining and they're going to be taking stuff to JITA or whatever, or selling in place, that they don't really see the value in compression. And also, I'm going to just kind of speak to why compression value is higher than uncompressed. And a lot of it has to do with most of, especially Veldspar, a lot of Veldspar is going to be shipped out to nullsec to be refined on a rig to Tara out there and to do manufacturing, because trit is not available in large quantities in nullsec. So it's somebody is not going to fill a jump freighter with trit and then send it out. It's not worth the fuel, right? What they are going to do is they're going to fill that jump freighter with compressed Veldspar and ship it out, because they can get more trit and make it the trip a little bit more efficient as far as fuel costs and things like that. So, and since you can't actually compress in JITA, most of the time when I'm out here mining, even though I'm not actually selling any ore right now, and I'm focusing on Veldspar, it's because I have a buyer. And I think I've touched on this a little bit in previous episodes about when you're mining, have like a buyer lined up, or have a means to get to offload what you're mining and everything, which is super important. But for the case of my purchased order, or the contract that I have, essentially I am generating compressed Veldspar to be shipped out to Null from JITA, because that's where jump raiders for the route out to Null originate from. That's one of the endpoints. So for me, it's I actually make more. I make a more of a competitive rate by compressing it and then taking it to JITA and then shipping it out. Now, if you don't have a buyer lined up, if you're going to be doing your own manufacturing, or you're just going to just take stuff to JITA, obviously you don't have to worry about compression. And also, if you're already in an Orca, like I would say, like regardless of what you do, compressing is going to be better, especially if that ore is going to end up in the marketplace anyway, because you're going to get a better price for it. Because when you go to place that compressed ore on the market, the people who are really going to be buying in volume are going to be looking at compression, because they're going to export it out of high sec. Now, you're going to get a lower price for just random or just regular uncompressed ore, because in most cases, if anybody is doing their own manufacturing in a high sec, they're probably just going to mine the ore themselves. And so, it's just like with anything else. If you want to increase the the pool of buyers that you have for your product, you definitely want to do that. And by compressing your ore, you definitely increase the amount of people that your product appeals to. Not to mention, it's just easier. You can take, if you like have a million M3 of uncompressed ore, it's gonna take you a long time to go back and forth and take it to JITA or take it to wherever you need it to go. And when you compress it, it just makes logistics much easier, because the less time you spend running ore from point A to point B, the more time you have just mining additional ore, just being out there on the belt and everything like that. But I figured I'd kind of touch on that a little bit and kind of give my thoughts on why it's important and everything. As far as progress goes, we're kind of just chilling. I have not been doing. I mean, it might be a surprise, but I have not been doing like 12-hour mining days on this guy. I've got a lot of projects going on in Eve right now, and so a lot of what I'm doing on this tune is I'll usually just come out here and kind of mine Veldspar while I'm doing my project discovery. And most of the time I'm just kind of running project discovery while I'm orbiting and stuff like that. And then for at least the past few days, or at least since the last episode, once I actually get to my limit on my project discovery submissions is usually when I'm kind of done mining on this tune for the day, which has increased its I mean, obviously we could do a lot better if we spent more time mining as far as a goal and just getting like, net value kind of higher. But her net value is let's update it. Her net value is about 129 million right now. So she's progressing nicely. A lot of that is wallet balance just because of project discovery. I'm getting about 10 million a day with just project discovery. And then usually the ore that I'm mining while I'm doing those submissions ends up being somewhere in the neighborhood of like 20 to 30. So we're doing about 40 million days right now, and it's been kind of chill. A lot of my skills have been just kind of, she's already at 6.5 million, so we don't have passive training on her. So every skill point that I get for daily login is essentially just kind of going towards just different things to kind of flesh her out a little bit. I think one of her main goals is to actually become the 20 million alpha, which 20 million alpha means she has literally every skill that's available to an alpha, which I think comes to about 20 million skill points total. But she's already got everything she needs for mining. She already has everything she needs for like gas harvesting as well, which I might do a little bit of that. I'm not really sure at this point. I'm kind of just enjoying going after and just farming dense Veldspar for the most part. Another thing I could do on her is actually work on her career points. This would actually fill out her skill points quite a bit. But as far as the skill points getting used, it's not going to directly affect our goal for this series. I still haven't sold any ore at all. So yeah, that net value is literally just like wallet from, or liquid disk from Project Discovery, and then the assets in Jita. Which, let me show you real quick. Let me bring up the personal assets here. This is what we're got in Jita right now. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. So we got a little bit of uncompressed just from some stuff we've done before we started really kind of getting after it. At some point, I'll probably take all this stuff somehow and get it compressed down and put everything in compressed form. But overall, we haven't done a whole lot of progress, but that's not really the point. The point is really just kind of chill and have fun. It's kind of a different, type of series where we're not necessarily going after a lot of ISK per hour or ISK per day. It's kind of a change for me because that's usually my main focus. I like kind of the economics of Eve, and I like the net value and increasing things that way. But also with all of the projects I have going on in Eve right now, as far as like stuff I'm doing in Null, stuff I'm doing in wormhole sites, having this character, this alpha character that's just strictly doing mining for the fun of it, is actually an extremely nice break and an extremely nice thing to kind of have in my back pocket. But figured I'd kind of do an update. I haven't done an update on this series in a couple days. Let you guys know where and how I'm doing and everything. Any questions that you have, obviously I'll try to address them in coming episodes and things like that. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace out.